Welcome to the next part of the requirements documentation. After the general introduction to the documentation process, we're now going to talk about textual requirement specification before moving on to the model-based documentation approaches. So we're still within the documentation phase, and we're going to look in this video series at textual requirements in particular, and then related problems or challenges such as ambiguity. Then we'll talk about guidelines and syntactic requirements patterns as a specific technique for textual requirements documentation. Textual requirement specification is especially interesting to us because it utilizes all the advantages of natural languages that we previously discussed in the context of communication. It is universal, meaning it can be used in any problem area or domain. It is very flexible and allows for arbitrary abstraction and refinement, so you can zoom in and zoom out. And it's also very comprehensible. You can potentially be understood by any stakeholder, assuming that you're speaking the same language. However, despite being super flexible, it also has some challenges or disadvantages that partially come from the fact that it is so flexible and universal. One of the main problems being here is the mixing of concepts. When you mix the three perspectives, data, structural, functional, and behavioral, in functional requirements, you get or tend to get into some problems. As you can maybe see with the example sentence that we constructed here. So the glass break detector at the window detects that the pane has been damaged. The system shall inform the security service within 2 seconds at the least. And to highlight you why this is getting like a little bit messy here, we use the color coding to show you what kind of perspectives we're mixing here and how this adds a lot of complexity and why separating those would be much better. So everything that has this light blue color is from a functional perspective. So detecting, informing, those being the functional requirements here. Behavior, what to do if damaged, shall inform, and then the quality requirement of do it within 2 seconds. All of this in one sentence, you're mixing so many different perspectives. How do you then later put this in a proper implementation? Of course, this works, but it's very difficult to keep track of what part you're describing here. So at least separate functional and quality aspects if you can. If you can completely separate all of them, would be even better. So what does it look like in a separated form? If you only try to cover the functional ones, then you're suddenly talking about the glass break detector at the window shall detect if the glass pane is damaged. And if the detector detects damage to the pane, the system shall inform the security service. So 2 sentences, very clear separation of concern. And then separately completely from the functional aspects, you tell us what the quality requirements are. The system shall inform the security service within 2 seconds after detecting the damage. It's a very clear separation, less messy, not so much being mixed together, making it more difficult to understand the whole context.